After lending my neighbor my truck to move her furniture, I found it abandoned in a field with the engine blown. It was already like that, she texted. Then she blocked me. I filed a report, and then her brother showed up at my door with a threat. I've lived in Waco, Texas, for 7 years now. Small house, quiet street. Nothing fancy, just a working-class neighborhood where people mind their own business but still wave if you walk past them. It's the kind of place where if your trash can rolls into the street, someone will set it back up for you. I mostly kept to myself. I'm not a loner or anything, I just value peace. I work construction, get home tired, and don't go looking for drama. But I help out when someone needs it. That's always been how I was raised. So when Heather moved in next door, I was polite. She was new, maybe mid-30s, single mom. Real soft-spoken. We talked now and then. Mailbox, sidewalk, small talk kind of stuff. I even helped her move a dresser into her house once when I saw her struggling. One Saturday afternoon, I was washing my truck out front. Old F-150, 2005, but I've taken care of it. Bought it used 10 years ago, and I put a lot of hours into keeping it running right. It's not just a vehicle, it's my work truck, my weekend project, my pride. Heather came over, holding her baby monitor in one hand and looking frazzled. Hey. Sorry to ask, but would there be any way I could borrow your truck for a couple hours, she said. I just need to grab some furniture from a storage unit. I looked at her. She seemed nervous. Said her sister was supposed to help but flaked. She didn't know anyone else in town yet. I hesitated. I really did. I don't usually lend out tools, let alone my truck. But she looked like she was barely keeping it together, and I thought about how hard it must be for a single mom to do all that alone. I handed her the keys. Just be careful with it, I said. Absolutely. I'll have it back in a couple hours, promise. That was 2 p.m. By 6, I hadn't heard from her. I tried not to overthink it. Maybe she got caught up. People run late. But by 8, I texted, hey, all good? Just checking in about the truck. No reply. I figured I'd give her the night, maybe she got busy putting the baby down or whatever. But by the next morning, I started to feel that knot in my gut. I texted again. Called. Straight to voicemail. Around 10 a.m., I walked next door. Her blinds were shut. No car out front. I knocked. Nothing. At noon, I finally got a reply. Just one text, it was already like that. I read it twice. I typed back, what was? Where's my truck? No reply. I clicked on her profile. She had blocked me. That's when I really panicked. I made some calls. One buddy of mine works for the county. Said he'd keep an ear out. A few hours later, he calls me. Your truck's off FM 933. Out near the tree line. I'll drop you a pin. I borrowed my cousin's car and drove out there. Took about 20 minutes. When I pulled up, I felt sick. There it was. My truck. Door open. No keys. No sign of Heather. It looked like it had been dumped there. No tire marks. Just sitting crooked in the grass. I popped the hood. The engine was shot. Later, the tow guy told me it looked like she drove it for miles with no oil, maybe trying to push it through a long haul or something. But either way, it was dead. I filed a police report. Gave them her name, her address, screenshots of our texts. But she was gone. House empty. Curtains still drawn. No movement. Like she'd vanished overnight. I didn't expect much to come of the report. Maybe she'd show up later, maybe not. But I figured I had to at least make it official. Then, the next night, around 9:30 p.m., someone knocked on my door. It was dark out. I looked through the peephole and saw a guy. Big guy. Tall, thick neck, bald, tattoos on both arms. Looked like he hadn't shaved in a few days. I opened the door just a crack. You filed a report on my sister, he said. His voice was low, slow. I didn't say anything. You're gonna wanna drop that. Fast. He didn't blink. I stepped outside and shut the door behind me. Your sister destroyed my truck, I said. She stole it, dumped it, and blocked me. He leaned in a little, close enough that I could smell cigarette smoke and something like motor oil. You file again, or you talk to cops, and I promise, something worse than a blown engine's gonna happen. He walked away without looking back. I stood there for a while after he left. My porch light flickered. I could hear the bugs buzzing in the yard and my own heart pounding in my ears. I wasn't scared. Not exactly. But something about the way he said it, like he'd done this before, stuck with me. I went inside, locked the door, and sat at my kitchen table. I didn't sleep that night. Kept thinking about my truck. About the money it would take to fix it, or maybe replace it. I didn't have that kind of cash lying around. Next morning, I checked Heather's place again. Still empty. I knocked, hard this time. No answer. Then I walked around back. The gate was unlocked. Trash piled up near the back door. Rotten food. An old crib. Flies everywhere. She'd left fast. Either she was scared, or she knew she wasn't coming back. I peeked through a crack in the curtains. The house was stripped bare. Just a few boxes and a broken lamp on the floor. I took a picture. Just in case. That afternoon, I got a call from the cop I filed the report with. He said there wasn't much they could do. I'd voluntarily lent the truck. He said unless I had proof she intentionally damaged it or intended to keep it, it wasn't technically theft. But she abandoned it, I said. Yeah, he sighed. But proving intent in these cases is tricky. Civil court might be a better route. So now, not only was I out a truck, but the law wasn't going to help either. I started asking around. I went to the little grocery store where I'd seen Heather before. Asked the cashier if she'd seen her lately. Oh, her, she said. She was in here last week, buying diapers and a bunch of snacks. She looked rough. Kept arguing with someone on the phone. Was it a big guy? Tattoos, shaved head? She nodded slowly. Yeah, that sounds like him. Said something about a motel in Hillsborough. Maybe room 12? Not sure. I drove there that night. It was a rundown place just off the highway, the kind of motel with flickering neon and old carpets that stink like smoke. I parked and watched from across the lot. I saw the guy first. He came out of room 12 to smoke. Same look. Same build. I waited. Then I saw her. Heather. Holding her baby, looking tired and scared. So she hadn't skipped town, just hiding out. That's when I decided I wasn't letting it go. I waited in that parking lot for over an hour. Just sat in my car with the windows cracked, watching room 12. I wasn't sure what I was going to do yet. I didn't have a plan. But I wasn't driving home empty-handed. Around 11 p.m., the guy left. Got into a rusted red Dodge Charger and took off down the road. That was my shot. I walked across the lot, heart thudding in my chest. I knocked, firm, 3 times. No turning back. Heather opened the door just a crack. Her face went pale when she saw me. She tried to shut it, but I stuck my foot in. I'm not here to hurt you, I said. But you're gonna talk. She looked over her shoulder, like she was scared someone would see us. You need to leave, she whispered. He'll be back. I didn't move. You used me, I said. You wrecked my truck, then ran. That guy threatened me at my door. You think I'm just gonna eat that and walk away? Her eyes welled up, and I saw real fear in them. He took the keys from me, she said. I wasn't supposed to say anything. I didn't get it. What are you talking about? He said it'd be easier if you thought it was me. That you wouldn't go after him if it looked like I just ghosted. It hit me in pieces. You didn't even drive it? She shook her head. I did at first, just to the storage unit. But then he showed up. Took over. Said he had somewhere to go. I begged him not to take it. He wouldn't listen. That meant the brother blew the engine out. He took the truck, ran it to hell, and left it to rot, then made it look like she did it. Why'd you block me? I asked. He made me. He went through my phone. I believed her, but it didn't change what I'd lost. My truck. My time. My peace. Why'd he come to my door? I asked. Why threaten me? She looked down at the baby, asleep in a cheap pack-and-play. Because he's done it before, she said quietly. You weren't the first. That stopped me cold. He uses people, she went on. Borrows stuff through me, money, cars, places to crash. When things fall apart, I take the blame. Always me. My stomach turned. He's my half-brother. I owe him, or at least I thought I did. But he's not gonna stop until someone forces him to. That's when the idea started to take shape. I left the motel without another word. But I wasn't walking away. I spent the next 2 days putting something together. Not a plan for revenge exactly. Just the truth, laid out in a way people couldn't ignore. I went back to the motel during the day when I figured the brother would be gone. I parked a few spaces down and waited. Around 3 p.m., I saw Heather slip out alone to throw away a bag of diapers. I caught her before she went back inside. I need your help, I said. And this time, you don't protect him. She didn't say anything right away. She just looked tired. Like someone who hadn't slept through the night in months. Heather, if he's done this before, he's gonna keep doing it. To me, to someone else. You said yourself, he always makes you take the fall. She looked away. Please, I added. Just tell me where he keeps his stuff. Car, bags, anything he wouldn't want the cops to see. She nodded once, slowly. There's a duffel bag in the trunk of his car. Always locked. He never lets it out of his sight. But he keeps a spare key in the motel ice machine, wrapped in a gum wrapper. That night, I went back. Sure enough, I found the spare key right where she said. And inside that trunk? Pills. Dozens of bottles. Some labeled, some not. Cash, wads of it. Fake IDs. A taser. And a small handgun, unregistered, serial number scratched off. I took pictures of everything. I didn't touch the bag. I didn't need to. Next day, I called a friend who worked security at a nearby casino. He knew some people on the force. I sent over the photos and explained everything, quietly. No drama. Cops raided the motel 2 days later. Heather texted me that night, they got him. He didn't even run. I thought that'd be it. I thought I could breathe. But the next morning, I found a note shoved under my door. It was written in thick black marker, all caps. You think this is over? I read that note 5 times. The handwriting was sloppy, rushed. The kind of thing someone writes when they're angry enough to make mistakes. But it wasn't just the words. It was the fact that it was under my door. Someone had been up on my porch in the middle of the night, close enough to see through the window if they wanted. I checked my cameras. Nothing. Battery had died 3 days earlier. I never got around to replacing it. That was on me. At first I thought maybe the brother got out on bail, but the friend I had on the force told me he was being held, no bond. Something about the gun being linked to a robbery from earlier in the year. They weren't letting him go. So if it wasn't him, who? That night, I sat in my living room with the lights off, waiting. Around 1:17 a.m., I saw movement through the front blinds. A shadow, quick, just a flash of a figure moving past the porch. I slipped out the back door and came around the side of the house. There was a car idling at the curb. Beat-up Honda Civic. Someone in the driver's seat, hoodie pulled tight. Another figure walking fast toward the car from my yard. I caught them just as they opened the door. Hey! They froze. Young guy. Maybe 20. Pale, skinny. Eyes wide. I grabbed his arm. You leave that note? He didn't answer. Just looked over my shoulder like he was waiting for help. The driver peeled off before he could jump in. I shoved him up against the hood of my cousin's car. Not hard. Just enough. Who sent you? I asked. Man, I don't even know you, he shouted. I was just doing a favor, all right? Some lady paid me to drop that note. Said it was for her brother. What lady? He gave me a name I recognized. Darlene. The brother's ex. I'd seen her once, screaming outside the motel a few weeks back. Apparently she was still loyal. So now it wasn't just the brother. It was whoever else he'd pulled into his mess, exes, friends, people who owed him, or thought they did. They thought I was just going to fold. But if they wanted to play dirty, I wasn't backing down. Not anymore. I let the kid go. Didn't see the point in dragging him into this deeper. He was just some scared runner trying to make quick cash. But I made sure he knew this wasn't something he wanted to be part of again. You come back near my place, you won't walk away, I said. He nodded so fast I thought his neck might snap. Next morning, I went back to the motel. Room 12 was empty now. Yellow tape across the door. The air felt heavier there. Like something ugly had been dragged out and left behind. I found Heather again. She was staying a few rooms down, now alone with her kid. You lied to me, I said. She looked up from her phone. What? That note. That kid. Your brother's ex. You said you wanted out, but your people are still showing up at my door. I didn't ask anyone to do that, she said, eyes wide. I swear to God. I haven't talked to Darlene in months. I could tell she was telling the truth. Her hands were shaking. He had a lot of friends, she said. Not good ones. People who owe him, or think they're supposed to carry his water. They don't stop just because he's locked up. Then you need to tell them to stand down, I said. Because next time they show up, I'm not calling the cops. I'm answering my door with a bat. She nodded, eyes filling up. I didn't know it would get this far, she whispered. I thought if I stayed quiet, it would go away. Well, it didn't. I left. But something about the way she looked at me as I walked away stayed with me. Like she was scared of something I hadn't figured out yet. That night, I finally fixed my camera. Around 3:04 a.m., I got an alert. The footage showed a car I didn't recognize, an old white Tahoe, pulling up slow in front of my house. Lights off. The driver just sat there for 20 minutes. Never got out. Never moved. But right before he pulled away, he leaned forward and looked straight into the lens. And smiled. I showed the footage to the cop I'd been talking to. He didn't recognize the guy, but he didn't look surprised either. Some of these guys, it's not just about revenge, he said. It's about proving they can still scare people. Even when they're not the ones pulling the strings anymore. I was tired. More tired than I'd ever been. Tired of looking over my shoulder. Tired of watching shadows. Tired of waking up at every noise outside. So I decided to hit back, not with fists, not with threats. With exposure. I put everything together. The texts. The video. The photos from the trunk. The note under my door. The footage of the Tahoe. I printed every file, every image, every name I could track back to the brother or his little network. And I mailed it. One copy to the DA's office. One to a lawyer in town who handled harassment cases. And one, just one, to Darlene. With a handwritten note, next one goes public. The Tahoe didn't come back. No more notes. No more kids dropping messages on my porch. Just silence. I knew they were still out there. But they knew I wasn't scared anymore. That's when Heather texted me again. He wants to talk. He said he'd call you. I didn't respond. I didn't need to hear whatever lie he was selling from county jail. Whatever favor he wanted. Whatever twisted version of the truth he thought I'd buy. Because I knew something now I didn't understand before all this started. Some people don't want to fix things. They just want to drag you under with them. I still drive past the field where I found my truck sometimes. Nothing's changed there, just grass, weeds, and silence. But every time I see it, I remember how fast things can fall apart when you trust the wrong person. I used to think helping people was simple. Now I double lock my doors. Now I keep the engine running when someone says they just need a favor. And sometimes late at night, I still check the camera, not because I think they'll come back, but because I know someone like them always does.